Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I'm going to review The King and Kishar by Timothy S. Currey. Every word that King Adzi Akathar writes on sacred stone is binding and lasts for all eternity. But how can he rule when he has been cursed to forget everything? With the help of High Priestess Idza and General Kanatha, he must relearn their laws and customs and who he was as king. His former self, however, seemed cruel and cold, and he's plagued with doubts. They must flee from invasion to the temple Mesopos, where the king's memories may be restored. There is little chance that they will reach it in time, but if they do, does he want to become that king again? So this was from my batch for SPFBO round 8. We are thrown straight into the middle of things. Starting by just about waking up on a side street, there is fighting going on around you, you're being dragged away by people you don't know who they are, and you have no idea what's going on. Confused by the fact that these people say they know you and are trying to take you to safety. And our experience builds from there as we follow Adzi as he learns about the world, his place in it, and who he was. We learn about who Adzi is now as he demands answers. There is a strength of will there, even though he doesn't know who he is. I don't think we get to know the other characters quite as well, however, as we get to know Adzi. Idza, the High Priestess, and Kanatha, the General, feel almost closed off as they are not quite part of it in the same way that Adzi is. This remains true for a lot of the side characters as well. They have their part to play in the story, but only one or two seem to take control of events that they are involved with. I thought the feelings of confusion and chaos that Adzi experiences, both at the start and as his story progresses, were really done well. Emotions overall were done really well with believable responses from characters. I enjoyed how the scope of this story seemed to change throughout. At the start, we have that very narrow experience. The only location we are aware of is the streets as we are running through town. It feels on the one hand that we move very quickly through events as we experience the chaos at the start. On the other hand, however, we do get a little bit of repetitiveness as Adzi tries to figure out what's going on, which can make things feel a little bit paused as we go over ground we have already gone over. And then as we progress, it moves away from this narrow scope at the start to a much more epic feeling story. There is so much more going on, and the experience we have is much wider, the places we see are much bigger. This increased scope comes with travel, and I don't know why, but I judge travel in fantasy stories quite hard. It really needs to feel right for the world, and I've got to say that this does. Days trudge along, you've got to feed all of these people just to get to the next location, but along the way there's this creeping sense that you're running out of time and perhaps there's someone behind you. And of course, I am a sucker for well-described scenery, and we get some lovely scenery along the way. One of the most fascinating aspects of this story to explore was the magic, and if you have been around my videos for more than 5 minutes, you know I love a good magic system, and this one I really enjoyed learning about. The king can consecrate stone. Anything that is carved into it becomes truth. And if bargains carved into stone are not kept, there are definite consequences. The system is revealed bit by bit through the book, again as Adzi uncovers what is going on, and there are interesting consequences for overuse. But another fascinating aspect of the magic system was how it was used to explore themes of conquest, colonialism, and erasure of culture of colonised people. When a history is carved into consecrated stone, it does become truth after all. There is a lot tied into under 300 pages, including epigraphs at the start of some chapters written by this mysterious Kishar. The writing of this is so immersive that I didn't even notice it. It just flowed so smoothly. It was filled with wonderful visual description and some really fluidly written fight scenes. Overall, this was just a wonderful and surprisingly touching read, and I am so glad that I got to read this as part of my batch. So if you have read this, I would love to know your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you all soon.